Now, GB News is going to go to hear, well, I suppose, something very, very personal from one of our wonderful viewers and listeners here. And we're going to look at this brilliant photograph that one of you has sent in. I'll describe it for you for those listening on radio. It's a fabulous black and white image showing a photo of the Queen visiting Barnsley in 1970. And just over her shoulder is a chap called Norman Thompson. And he was actually one of her protection officers, not quite blending into the crowd, but not doing a bad job of being relatively subtle himself. Now, sadly, Norman died back in June. But his wife, Audrey, I'm very pleased to say, joins me now down the line. Audrey, thank you so, so much for joining us. I can see you now. Great to have you on the show. And thank you for reaching out to us as well, actually, and providing us with a wonderful picture there of Norman. Just talk to us a little bit about your husband's relationship with the Queen, his job.
Well, he was born in the same year as the Queen, and he died 2.5 months ago. Oh. And he would have been very sad to hear of the Queen's death because he had a great admiration for her. He was, in Special Branch in Sheffield Police Force for a lot of years. And he looked after quite a lot of the royal family during that time. But he was particularly fond of the Queen. And he thought that she did over and above her duty because she didn't have a lot of control about what she did. There were countless meetings with the bigwigs and the minor politicians in Sheffield, and always she abided by what they required and sometimes worked very, very long days.
Indeed. And just talk to me a little bit about that picture. I'm hoping we might be able, for our television and online viewers, to bring that wonderful picture back up of your late husband, Norman, there, alongside the Queen, on a visit into Barnsley. Now, that picture really is iconic. It must be iconic for you. Can you talk a little bit about what was going on that day, please, Audrey?
Well, in fact, we didn't have this photo until about 6 months ago.
Oh, wow.
So, really, he was very proud of the fact that he was obviously looking after the Queen. And actually, he couldn't remember it being taken, but he could remember sort of the Queen in Barnsley. He could remember the Queen in Sheffield on various occasions. And as I say, he was sort of a great admirer of the Queen, less so of other members of the royal family, but, the Queen was his tops.
I think that's a fair comment, that, Audrey. There's a lot of people potentially feeling the same way. It does sound as though to me as though Norman's love of the Queen has been replicated up and down the nation. What does it mean to you as well, though, Audrey, to love the Queen? I take it you are yourself a staunch royalist. Why is that?
Well, I am a staunch royalist, and I think the Queen did absolutely brilliantly, and more so the fact that she worked until the last 2 days of her death. I think that's astounding. A lady of 76 working, and she was what you might think. To the Queen, it was working 2 and 3 days before her death. It was absolutely admirable. And, I'm astounded that she found the energy to do it, because obviously she was at death's door.